Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of the Gaming All the Time podcast. We're here at South Peak Games with Aubrey Norris, the flame-haired harbinger of doom. And we're here to talk about South Peak Games. So we have a couple of questions here that we like to ask for Aubrey, but first we'll let her introduce herself.
Hey everybody, it's Aubrey. I do PR for South Peak, which means that I share trailers with everybody and new information and screenshots, and I get to play games for a living, which is like more than awesome. So,
and we're also here with, of course, our editor-in-chief, Matt W.
Hey, here we are, South Peak Games. Super excited. It's been a great day so far. Got a lot of footage, a lot of information we're going to share with you guys. And before we start with Aubrey, I just have one quick question I have to get out of the way. Aubrey Norris, are you related to Chuck Norris?
I can't reveal or I'll have to roundhouse kick you in the mouth.
Ooh.
Very nice.
That sounded like a yes to me.
Very nice.
When she cries, the ground grows. Okay, so we have a couple of quick questions here for you, Aubrey. First, tell us about South Peak Games. We know that you guys have a diverse portfolio that goes all the way back to 1996. Do you guys consider yourself a jack of all trades, or?
Yeah, we definitely like to publish games in all different genres. I mean, there's no like one genre or type of game that we prefer over another. We like stuff for families, we like RPGs, we like shooters, and we kind of like a little bit of everything. Just kind of keep things interesting. We're a small indie publisher, and we don't own any studios. We like working with indie developers, people who are looking to get their game published but would not necessarily be would be either looked over or wouldn't be taken as seriously by larger publishers because their games are a little bit more niche, or maybe because they're a smaller dev team. So we're interested in working with people with a lot of new ideas. We like bringing new IPs and original gameplay to the industry. So. And we're a small team ourselves, so.
That sounds great to me. At Gaming All the Time, we personally love indie developers. I'll go ahead and let Matt ask the second question.
So, upon doing our research, we saw that South Peak acquired Gamecock Media. Can you kind of tell us what led to that occurring?
It was just an opportunity that came by back in fall of 2008. Gamecock was owned by some independent investors, and they were looking to sell the operations, and we were really interested in the games that they had in development, and we wanted to bring those out to market, like Velvet Assassin, Section 8. So we acquired Gamecock, and we acquired some really great employees, like Richard Argo, our VP of Marketing, is from Gamecock, and Jonathan Rosales, who's our product manager. So we got a lot of great employees, and we merged the operations, and that happened. That is a thing that happened.
That is awesome. That's Gamecock, where you mentioned Section 8. Then you outsourced to Timegate Studios?
Timegate was actually the developer of Section 8 from the beginning. They actually are the IP owners. So we just continued to work with them just as Gamecock did. We tried to make the transition as seamless as we could.
All right, great. Would you contribute a lot of the success that South Peak Games has had to the My Baby games?
I'd say definitely. You'd be really as a big gamer myself, I was really surprised when I came into the industry to see how profitable kids games can be. I had no idea. I thought everybody's cash cow was the shooters and the strategy games of the world, but My Baby has been really super successful. I mean, it's our best-selling game ever. It's got a huge fan base. It's got we put a lot of marketing and PR and a lot of weight behind it. So I'd definitely say that it has been a huge driver for us.
Awesome. Of all of the partnerships that you've had with the various game companies, which would you say was the most beneficial?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think working with Nobilis was really great because we got to work with them on the My Baby franchise, and then there were a couple other games that we put out with them, or we put out from what they released in Europe, like Crime Scene for the DS. So that was a fun partnership. And then also working with Renegade Kid on Dementium. They're like a unbelievably talented dev team of like 10 to 12 people. It's amazing to see that they were able to put together Dementium, the quality that it was in less than a year. So it was really, the development time for Dementium was super short because they already had the engine built and they had used it for 2 games prior to that. But working with them was really great. They're really excellent guys to work with.
Cool. So having personally reviewed and enjoyed your latest Nintendo DS offerings, TNA Impact and Dementium 2, as you were just talking about, what are some upcoming DS games that we can look forward to getting our hands on?
The only thing we have in the pipeline right now for DS is actually Battle vs. Chess. We have Battle vs. Chess for DS, PSP, and Wii will come out in first quarter of 2011. So that's all we have announced right now for DS.
Okay. That's good. Portable gamers still have something to look forward to. Nail's target audience looks like people who go to the Mayhem Tour and drink extreme energy drinks. Are you looking for a broad appeal, or is that your target audience?
Yeah, I think we actually do want a broad appeal. We wanted to put out a racer that would be interesting to people who typically don't like racers. We want it to be accessible. It's literally push one button to go and push one button to go faster. I mean, those are the controls. So we didn't want something that would be intimidating to people who aren't hardcore, racing fans, because, I mean, let's be honest, Nailed is a new IP, and there's, GT5 coming out this fall. There's all kinds of, new next iterations of these really famous racing sim franchises, and it's, as a new IP, it's often difficult to compete with something like that. So we wanted to bring something to market that would be different than that, and would give people who are looking for a different racing opportunity something to look forward to.
Recently we got the press release. So what can you tell us about Stronghold 3, and what was it about the game that persuaded you to decide to publish the series?
Well, I mean, I think first and foremost, we're really impressed with Firefly Studios. They're a super talented developer. So I think we have really, really high hopes for, the quality of game that they're going to make. We're always interested in bringing franchises, in terms of sequels. Like, it's really great that there hasn't been a Stronghold in like 5 years. So we're really excited about bringing the next Stronghold out after it's been so long. I think one thing that a lot of publishers do too much is they put the same game out every single year, and there's no like anticipation or excitement. It kind of like loses its sparkle. So we're really excited about the fact that we're bringing it back after it's been gone for so long. I've read like a lot of really cool things about what Firefly plans to do with the game design, like the fact that when you're building out your castle, you're not like aligned to a grid in terms of like where you can place your walls. It's all like totally fluid. You can make all kinds of like really intricate designs. It sounds like they're taking the depth of the game to a whole new level, and there's night sieges, which is badass. Yeah, so we're really excited about the ambition they have with the game, and they're very, very talented. And the Stronghold franchise has been really successful, so we're excited to be able to work on that scope of a title with them.
Well, that sounds awesome, because I I personally play RTSs, and I hate it whenever you have a invisible wall that you can't, build past, and you're like, come on, if I could just build my wall right there, they couldn't get into the city. But thanks for the info on that. That's probably some new info that hasn't been pretty much talked about on the internet yet. Today we got a chance to look at some Two Worlds 2. What has changed from the first game, and why should gamers give Two Worlds 2 a shot?
Oh, wow. I think almost everything has changed from the first game. We actually had somebody look at the game, and they couldn't believe that it was the same franchise. It's a brand new engine. The Grace engine was developed from the ground up just for Two Worlds 2, so that there would be no porting of the game. There's going to be no lead platform. No one platform is going to be way better than the others. So you're going to have equally as good experiences on PC and 360 and PS3. Reality Pump was able to really flesh out a lot of the things in Two Worlds that we got a lot of feedback that people liked, but they maybe weren't well developed enough. So for example, like the crafting system, you're able to take weapons and break them down into their basic components and then use those components to upgrade your weapons. So there's that. There's a huge spell system. It's actually the biggest spell system of any RPG ever. We're actually up for a Guinness World Record because there are so many possible combinations of spells. It's like 10 to the 16th power. Ridiculous amounts of spell combinations you can make. The graphics are gorgeous. I mean, they are really stunning open world environments. Reality Pump has really improved on this game in every way. I mean, horseback riding, people hated in the first game. Like, I totally get it because I played the first game before I came to work for South Peak. Horseback riding is like night and day. Everything is just, people will be really surprised. I think it's going to be really shocking.
I'm glad to hear that. We actually saw the footage, and everything that she says is completely true. The graphics have been totally overhauled. They have high dynamic range lighting. They have light sources that move as you move the light source, such as a lamp. I mean, the game looks amazing. So let's go with Matt for the next question.
Okay, so looking towards the future, a game called Edge of Twilight caught our eye. What can you tell us about this game?
Edge of Twilight is this really cool, like, steampunk action game, and the story of the game is where you have this guy Lex, and he's kind of like a hybrid between these two realms. It's kind of like a day realm and a night realm, and it's basically like these realms that are taking place like in the same universe. It's just that people can't cross from one, I guess, dimension to the other, and he's the only one that can kind of like make that jump. And the whole like storyline of the game is that there are people who have been like basically harvesting energy from the environment, and by doing that they're causing like these rifts between the day realm and the night realm. And so basically he's tasked with, saving the world, as he's the only like hybrid between those two realms.
We had heard that the game, The Edge of Twilight, was put on hold. Do you know when it's going to go back into full swing?
It's still being developed. We're looking at probably 2011 for release at this point.
Okay, that sounds great. And finally, we have our 10th question for you, which is, are there any upcoming game releases that you are personally looking forward to?
Oh, wow. Good question. Well, God, I don't know. Damn, that's a hard one. I mean, honestly, like, not to sound like a total PR shill or whatever, but I really want to play Two Worlds. Like, I played Two Worlds. I mean, I'm an RPG fan anyway, so I would play this game whether I worked for South Peak or I didn't work for South Peak. And I'm really excited. I mean, right now, like, just doing PR, I've only been able to play like bits and pieces of it just because that's all I've had time for. But earlier this year I played Mass Effect. I played Mass Effect 1. I immediately played Mass Effect 2, so I got that out of my system. So I'm excited for Two Worlds. I'm excited for Dragon Age 2, whenever that comes out next spring. So it'll be awesome.
Dragon Age won my award, if you didn't read on our website, for the best RPG made last year. So, because that game was pure awesome. And here's a question that it doesn't relate to any games or anything, but do you like Doctor Who?
I love Doctor Who, and I especially love David Tennant because he is a sexy man. And he's my favorite Doctor, and I haven't been able to like get over the fact that he's not the Doctor anymore, so I haven't watched any of the current Doctor's episodes, but I've been told that I might warm up to him, so, maybe. But I have to get over the loss of David first.
Yeah, it was pretty sad whenever you heard he was going and some nobody was replacing him. But today we've been at South Peak, and who takes really good care of their indie developers, and they release really good games, as you could tell from our website, from the TNA Impact and Dimension 2 reviews. And hopefully here soon you'll be seeing a couple of more reviews like Battle vs. Chess, Two Worlds 2, and there's one more, Nailed, which was really awesome. I mean, Nailed, it just brings the arcade racer back.
Guess you could say you just nailed that.
Yeah.
So we just want to take this second to thank Aubrey Norris and thank everyone else at South Peak for giving us this opportunity to come out here and check out their upcoming releases and spend some time chatting. So we just want to say thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, guys.
That is not a problem. And remember, you are GamingAllTheTime.com.